Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and welcome to my show, Encouragement for Your Life. So, Encouragement for Your Life is my book series, and they're available on Amazon.com. Today, I'm simply asking that you set aside a few minutes of your day to focus on you, your family, your job, and your future. Many of you know I'm an executive speech coach and a national speaker, and I help people just like you learn to interview better, make amazing presentations, and craft your company's media message for success. Today I'm talking about one of my favorite topics, and it's this. Our friend, dreams are free. And yet so many of you have stopped dreaming. So I want to talk about why and how we can get you back up for your amazing future. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for the next half hour. Let's get started with today's show. I've entitled my thought for the day, Dreams Are Free. Listen, I've got a lot of great opportunities, but one of the privileges I have is that I am a TEDx speaker coach. TED, Technology, Entertainment, and Design, is a nonprofit devoted to spreading ideas, usually in the form of a short, powerful talk, 7 to 18 minutes or less. TED began in 1984 as a conference where technology, entertainment, and design converged. And today, most of the topics, are anything from science to business to global issues, and now in more than 100 languages. For a number of years, every Sunday afternoon, it was my practice to choose and watch 5 TED Talks on subjects and topics I knew nothing about. I felt it was a great way for me to educate myself on topics I really had never thought about in the comfort of my living room. Recently, we hosted a TEDx Greenville here in my hometown, and I'm proud to say I am the speaker coach for the presenters. A few years ago, we had a presenter who is an artist, but she uses more than a brush or paint. What she does is engages people into her art, and she called her TED Talk Dream for Free. In her presentation, Dream for Free, the speaker collects dreams from people in exchange for a lottery ticket. For every ticket she distributes, she asks the recipient to write down his or her desire for what they would do if they won. On occasions, she will purchase up to 50 tickets and just gives them to people that she meets in public places, as a city street, a restaurant, a convenience store, festivals, a laundromat. She says she understands that the lottery is a complex social issue, but that's not what she's really getting at here. She's using the tickets to encourage people to dream big, bigger than they would if she were just to give away $5, $10. So let me share just a few with you that people wrote down. She said this, that one person wrote down they would finally get the dental care they needed. Many offered to take care of their parents' home or car, buy them a new stove. Some would start a nonprofit. Most would travel. Some would open a business or a music studio. Most of the people said they would pay off student loans, family debts, debts of friends, and they would save some for the future. Many said they'd like to give to charities like diabetes or heart health, or open a free health care clinic for the uninsured, donate money. Some offered to adopt children so they could have a home. And some simply wrote on their paper to help the poor. And then there were those who dreamed like super big, buy an island, go to Jamaica, hire a polka band. And one wanted to build a roller coaster between their favorite coffee shop and their favorite neighborhood hangout. Yeah, dreams are free. And I love the idea behind it. So I have to wonder, what's your dream? Listen, I know life gets in the way, and many of us put our dreams on hold until we have more money, the kids are grown, the job is finished. But if you had the chance to take a few minutes and dream, what is it you would hope for? What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? I like to think hopeful, and to do that many times, I've got to get out of my own way and let my imagination flow to step back a minute and just go with it as I dream or daydream in my case. Listen, I'll admit I have been blessed beyond measure to have dreams come true. I've had a travel bucket list for as long as I can remember. And I have to tell you, a lot of the places that I dreamed about that I would like to go, And I've had the great fortune that they've come true. I always wanted to go to Russia. Maybe not right now, but I always wanted to behold the St. Basil's Cathedral there in Kremlin Square. It was a lifelong dream of mine to walk into the church and just admire the handiwork of years ago. And then while in Istanbul, Turkey, my favorite city in the world, I had the good fortune to visit the Hagia Sophia. Years earlier, I had read a book called Jewels, and the author had a ring handed down for generations that was made from a few stones from a mosaic in the angels' billowing robes. Seems that some great uncle had swiped some stones that he shouldn't have, but now she's the owner of a ring that sets the story in place, and lo and behold, if some of the stones were not missing from the angels' clothes that I saw in the Hagia Sophia on the wall fresco. Gotta tell you, it was pretty exciting stuff. And then, of course, my dreams came true as I had the opportunity to visit the spice market in the heart of Istanbul, which I had dreamed about all my life. As you're walking towards it, you can smell the spices before you ever arrive at the market. Now, granted, it was a lot smaller than my expectations, but still, the excitement of being there was, well, frankly, it was a dream come true. I've been to the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, the Wailing Wall, and a few years ago, I had the fortune to visit the hospital where I was born in Beirut, Lebanon, literally weeks before they were going to tell the hospital down to build another building. Oh, friend, trust me, dreams do come true in one way or another. I have to tell you, I am living proof that dreams come true, and not just for travel, but for the opportunities, and I believe the same can be true for you. And what I think is the greatest gift of all is it appears to me if you put your mind to something, somehow things seem to fall into place. But I found the key is simply to dream and then to put feet to those dreams or prayers and then set about to make something happen. I love the thought that dreams are free. Anytime, anywhere, anyhow, you can stop and breathe and let your mind break free of all the current troubles and issues that you have at hand. And friend, you can set forth on a path for your future. I have to wonder, if I were to offer you a ticket to dream today without thinking too hard about it, what would you dream about? What would you dream to do or dream to be or become? I gotta stop. It's kind of fun to think about. The freedom to wish out loud and perhaps put plans in place or at least prayers in place to make something happen. Now, granted, I know this is a lighter thought than my usual conversations with you every Saturday, but when I remember the speaker telling about her project and the effect it had on those who, for really just a minute, stopped and set aside the cares of the world and simply dreamed, I have to admit I found it a little bit life-changing. Because as I go through my days with clients who are working towards a goal or digging out from issues that have been weighing them down in a sense, we dream together of getting through or what it will be like on the other side of that great speech that they are going to make to thousands of people. And then I get to see in real time dreams come true and my speakers' lives change. I know there's a lot of work out there about dreams and how they can help many achieve things in life, big and small. And I'm going to share with you some of the medical science that proves that daydreaming or dreaming is actually really good for your mind and body because it allows you some space to simply be. So I have to ask, if I were to offer you the chance to scratch off $1 million ticket, what would you do with the money? If only for an instance. What's the first thing that comes to mind? I'll tell you, mine is probably going to take a river cruise throughout Europe, and then I'll probably continue to travel. What you answer really says a lot about you in a good way. It says you're open to thinking on the bright side, if only for a minute. And I think it allows you some space to breathe and think and hope and pray. All right, quick caveat. I don't advocate gambling in any way, but I do advocate for you to have the option to dream. Because friends, dreams are free. And believe it or not, many of them come true. I love the quote from Walt Disney, "If you can dream it, you can do it." James Huchner says, "All men of action are dreamers." Harvey Mackay, "A goal is a dream with a deadline." You know Eleanor Roosevelt's quote, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." And then Howard Schultz of Starbucks said this, "Care more than others think wise. Risk more than others think safe. Dream more than others think practical. Expect more than others think possible." Cindy Wilson's famous for saying, "It's your job to make your dreams come true. Don't quit your job." I love the one from Paul Valery. "The best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up." I love that. Earl Nightingale, famous speaker of yesterday, said, "Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass away." And then dreams are not those which are seen while you're sleeping. Dreams are those which don't let you sleep. We're all designed with a dreaming brain and a hopeful spirit. It's our nature to envision the life of our dreams. And while dreaming comes easy to us, we must never forget that it takes strength and dedication and courageous action that brings dream to life. That's from Steve Maraboli. All right, friends, I'm Deb Sofield. You're listening to Encouragement for Your Life. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back and talk about why people just don't dream and how we can turn that around. Stay tuned. I'll be right back after the break. Hi, folks. Deb Sofield here. Today's top executives have a lot more in common than mastering the boardroom and the bottom line. Successful people in business and politics have learned the art of mastering the media. Friends, you don't have a choice. In our high-tech, high-speed media age of Twitter, blogs, Facebook, and 24-hour news cycle, either you move quickly and decisively to define your product, your company, or yourself, or others will define you. To be successful, you can't afford to miss the mark because the public won't give you a second chance, the media is unforgiving, and YouTube will replay your remarks until you've been ground into dust. I can help you learn how to craft a message that will answer the questions and put the issues to rest. Answers that will resonate with reporters and the public, answers that will protect you. I'm Deb Sofield. I've been in the battlefield of business and politics for over 30 years. I know and understand how the game works, whether it's crafting your message, putting you on camera, or a hot seat for interviews. Let me help you be successful. Contact me through my website, debsofield.com. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to Encouragement for Your Life. You know, I mentioned during my main part of the show that I came across some medical benefits for daydreaming. And I came across this article by Sabia Kararami from Yahoo, and it's like 6 benefits of daydreaming. I really just want to share them with you because I think it's fascinating. My theme today is dreams are free, but I also think daydreaming is a positive too. And the author agrees with me. Imagine that. Daydreaming for improved creativity. She says daydreaming helps you to organize thoughts and think of new perspectives. No matter how crazy and outrageous your dream may be, there are some instances where you can actually apply the ideas in real life. Daydreaming also helps lower your blood pressure. Daydreaming is a form of hypnosis according to the Anti-Stress Center. As a result, it can lower your stress level and naturally decrease your blood pressure. The next one is daydreaming can boost your mood. You can just close your eyes anywhere and conjure up some positive image or situation. This is one of the best ways to practice your imagination and just might give you a boost in your mood. Daydreaming to brainstorm new ideas. Since daydreaming taps into your creativity and your imagination, it can also help you solve some tough problems or challenges. When you put yourself in a brainstorming mood, you are opening your mind to dozens of possibilities. Daydreaming can help you process each of these ideas to determine if the outcome might be positive or negative. You can also daydream to escape. Most people associate daydreaming as a form of escapism, and it can be when practiced for an extended period of time. Still, it's a fairly risk-free type of an escape. As long as you're not acting out your dream, the process could be harmless. Daydreaming to improve your memory. If you're trying to remember a person, place, or thing, daydreaming can help you fill in the details of old memories that you may not have given a second thought to in the past. Actually, I do that. Sometimes I'm like, how you see someone's face in your mind, but the name won't come? And yet, if you focus on it just long enough, yeah, sometimes I think it actually shows back up again. So, as I was online looking for a number of articles to share with you today, I believe it or not, I came up with probably the bigger idea of why people don't dream. I mean, what is it about it that we so many times just say, well, it's not for me? I came up with some really cool articles. I'm going to try to get through them time-wise. I might have to edit as we go along. The Martinez Creative Group wrote an article called 6 Reasons Why People Don't Follow Their Dreams. And here's the article. This past weekend, I watched the Dead Poets Society again for maybe the first time in 30 years. In it, Robin Williams' character quotes Henry David Thoreau when he says, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation." How many times have you heard from people who want to start a business, write a book, or change careers? How many times have you said this yourself? What's holding them back? More importantly, what's keeping you from following your dreams? If you don't want to live a life regretting things you'd always wish you had done, consider these reasons why people don't follow their dreams. Number 1, fear of failure. It's easy to rationalize and persuade ourselves into making, quote, safe decisions, which is often just a way of hiding that we're too scared to take the risk on something. The fear is that we might fail. Jim Carrey had a famous commencement speech in which he said, "The decisions we make in this moment are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality." Few people hit it big the first time. The key is to understand that you're going to have failures along the way, but if you are determined, friend, you can learn from these failures and use them to help propel you forward. Number 2, fear of change. Most men, and I'll say women, lead lives of quiet desperation. Why is this? Fear of change? Yeah, most often. It's easier to endure a known life of mediocrity than to risk going after your big dream. It just feels safer somehow. Starting something new and different is scary, no doubt. People fear the unknown and don't like to step outside their, quote, comfort zone, but think of the times in your life when you've grown and learned the most. Chances are it was when you were challenged. Facing your fear of change takes courage and the determination to follow through. I love the next point. It's his priorities. We all have people and things that take up our time, our jobs, our family, our friends, our hobbies. And these are great things to have in life, but they take time. It's easy to let your circumstances keep you from being successful. You can always find something else to do instead of working on your dream. This is often disguised as procrastination. Make sure your priorities aren't just turning into excuses by reprioritizing the things that make you happy, the things you love, and finding the time to pursue them. If you don't make your emotional health and happiness a priority, how can you take care of others? Next point was lack of confidence. It takes a lot of confidence to pursue a dream. Many people think they either don't have what it takes or don't deserve to be happy by following their dream, or they're not willing to put in the work to make it happen. I have to admit, there's something very exciting about dreaming about your goals without actually doing anything about them. It's safer to never move past the dreaming stage because putting your thoughts into action, well, let's just admit it, it involves risk and exposure to criticism. The path your life takes is entirely up to you, but to follow your dreams, our friends, you have to have the confidence to be honest with yourself about what you really want out of life, and then put it into action. The next point is timing. A dream without a timeline is just a fantasy. How will you ever know when the time is right until you make it happen? Putting off your dream until someday usually means that someday will never happen. Breaking your goal into small, actionable steps starting today. Set a timeline and milestones for yourself to make sure you are making your marks. This final point is society. I mean, let's just be honest. We all seek approval from friends and family and colleagues, but the pressure to do what's expected of us can sometimes keep us locked in a clearly defined box. If you're branching out into something new and it's different from what you've done, you might not always get support from those closest to you. Now, this is because people care about you and don't want to see you hurt or fail. Let's just give them that. Often they may not understand your dream because it's not something they would ever do. But try not to mistake their lack of understanding your dream as being a lack of support. The only true compass you can follow is your own heart, not what anyone else tells you or tells you what to do. Think about this. 20 years down the road, no one's ever going to regret that you didn't follow your dream, but you will. Your dreams are your own, and so are your decisions on what to do with them. See, most of the reasons for not following one's dreams are based in fear. Fear disguised as excuses, because that's what usually holds us back. If you want big things out of life, friends, you have got to face your fears. Putting yourself out there is scary. Listen, I admit it. A lot of people go far down the wrong path before ever realizing that they had choices. And here's your choice. Believe in yourself enough to turn your ideas into life-changing actions. Starting today, decide to live a life with few regrets. I like that article. I was just looking for things to kind of remind us that, dreams are free, but you've got to go to work on them. And that was an article from the Martinez Creative Group. I just thought they did a good job. And then I found one in Inc. magazine. I love Inc. magazine. It was by Nicholas Cole. And the headline was, Sad Reasons People Give Up on Their Dreams. People give up on their dreams too early in life. So the author states, it's sad that in life, the vast majority of people give up on their dreams. Sometimes it happens early. A kid is told by his or her parents that whatever they're aiming for is impossible to reach. Sometimes it happens later. You get older, tireder, and instead of trying to pivot once more, you decide to throw in the towel for good. It is sad when a dream dies. More often than not, it dies far too soon. If you don't believe me, ask those around you whether or not they're creative or what was the last creative thing they've done. Most will say, well, I'm not creative at all. Many will actually convince you how not creative they are. Majority haven't worked on something creative in years. Why? Because creativity is what's linked to dreams, to imagination, and exploration. And here are some reasons people give up. Probably the number one, which I got to tell you, just as an outsider, is shocking to me, but yet I see it all the time. People fear being judged by those they care about for failing. The fear of failure in itself is debilitating. But that fear is almost always rooted in the fear of rejection or judgment from those around them. Listen, you need to separate everyone else's fear from your own feelings. The two are not the same. They fear giving others power to influence their decisions. Instead of asking, what is it I truly want? Most people give that power to others, their parents, their friends, their boss. But fast forward 10, 20, 30 years, will you care what those people thought? Come on, some of you need to start making decisions for yourself. The age-old, they failed once, they're not going to try again. Think about this. If you stop walking, how do you expect to get where you're going? Once isn't a good judgment of your potential. Twice isn't either. 100 times is still not enough. It's a journey. You can never try too many times. The next point is some only see the failure, not the lesson. People who give up on their dreams tend to experience failure once and then attach themselves to the title that I'm a failure. And they repeat it over and over again. But what does that really mean, failure? Those who succeed are the ones who see failures as lessons forever and always. The next point's great. They don't learn how to discipline themselves. Unfortunately, most people won't practice the skills. They don't like waiting for things. They don't practice patience. They don't see the value in withholding short-term rewards for long-term gains. But friends, without discipline, it is going to be hard to succeed. Another point that I so believe, and I hear it so much, the reason people fail is they surround themselves with people who are a negative influence. You've heard it from Jim Rohn. You are a reflection of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with negative, unproductive people who don't have dreams of their own, guess what? You're going to be just like them. Another point that's so true, they don't believe in themselves. Instead, they look to others to believe in them. They want everyone else around them to do the heavy lifting, to cheer them on, give them the money they need, to give them a sense of a guarantee. Our friends, dreams don't work that way. you've got to believe in yourself first so that others can follow. I got to say, it's a great article. It just goes on about how you've got to surround yourself with positive people, and you have to stop worrying about what others think and let your dreams come to fruition. It's one of these messages that you hear a lot, my friends, but a lot of you aren't taking action. And so I wanted to talk about this today because I think it's important that some of you learn to pivot and adjust so you can go in the direction of your dreams. And I hope you will. You've been listening to Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Life. I hope you'll join me next week, same time, same place, as we continue to dream together. Have a good one, everybody.